hope you enjoy these tingles. And if you do like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And do not forget to subscribe to our channel. Guys, please let us know if you can hear us, if the sound is okay. I'm trying to read your comments to see if the sound is fine and you can hear us properly. Hi Hati Klauman. Hey, welcome to the channel. Hi Cecilia. Cecilia Mtu Tushane. Hello. Thanks for tuning in. Hi Angelica. Angelica Annie. Hey, how are you? Hi April. Hi Andrea Kramer. Thank you for tuning in. Guys, I would like to read all your names, but I also wanna get rid of this stuff in his scalp. Do confirm if you can hear as well. Oh, you can hear us, okay. Good, thank you for letting us know. My husband has been fixing the sound, so we just wanted to find out if, it's worked. Guys, I'm sorry I still haven't done my nails. I thought I would prioritize doing them the last couple of days, but yeah, I still haven't. Somehow I'm giving my nails a little bit of a break before I do the Christmas holiday nails. And also I wanted to go to the salon when our baby goes to the mini kindergarten. I really don't want to go to the salon with her because usually I have to take her with me. She's after like 1 hour, she's ready to go home. She's nagging. She's frustrated. And if I go in the morning, it's even worse. In the afternoon, she plays with the salon ladies' kids. So I guess I'll go in the morning after we take her to the mini kindergarten. There's 71 of you already. Hi guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate each and every one of you. Like, we're really, really humbled by your love and support. We truly appreciate. Hi Sarah Mura. You say me audible, okay? Hey Sana, how are you? Sana, you're asking, is he any better from the last time? What are we talking about? Oh, him being okay. Yes, he was feeling a little under the weather the last session, but he is much better now. There's a school of whiteheads here. To pick them with this and see if this will help, because the comp is not scratching us. Well, sorry, I know that hurt. Trying to pick up the flakes and raise them from the scalp where they're laying. Guys, do let me know if last time you guys did not appreciate that the mic was so much covering my mouth. So I'm trying to move it this time. So, since most of you enjoy when I'm chatting, like chit-chatting about something, I thought today I should chit-chat about some few things. Sorry guys, something flew on my nose. Guess it's a white, not a whited, but a dry scalp. They literally just fly everywhere, especially when I'm combing like this. Yeah, so I thought today I should chit-chat about a few things I'm not afraid to admit about myself. It's a TikTok trend I saw going viral, and it was on Instagram too. Like it came to Instagram too. When I saw it, I was like, wow, I need to probably make that a chit chat session. Not really chit chat, but monologue of me talking to you guys of this. So, one thing about me that I'm not afraid to admit is I do not trust easily. For the love of me, I do not trust people at all. I think growing up, being that I didn't grow up with my mom, I kind of grew up with like major trust issues. And even the times when I was, a young adult, like let's say 18, 19, we joined university around 18, if I'm not wrong. And yeah, I remember one incident that happened, even with me being wary of people. I let my guard down once, and we were going on a school trip. And it was organized by the student union, like the student, I don't know what you call them, in your country, but in Kenya we call it the student union, if I'm not wrong. And yeah, they organized that trip to Mombasa. Mombasa is like the coast of Kenya, right? It's the Indian Ocean. So anyway, I remember on that trip, or like 30 students that went. At that time it was, I think I paid 14,000 for the whole trip. 14 or 15, I'm not so sure. Kenya shillings. Anyway, long story short. So this is not a very enticing story, guys. Forgive me. This stuff is jumping all over my face. I need to be careful. Hi, Mija. How are you? Hi, Adrian, Mikael. Hey, Tanya Dale. Hi, Shmavi. Hello, Nzwaki, Tabitha. Lekala, Kala. Hi, how are you? Anyway, back to the story. So anyway, that time I remember I had an iPod and I had a computer and I had my telephone. So anyway, on the trip, we took a bus to Mombasa. The bus was not quite full, so you could sit like on your own chair alone. Some people who were couples sat together and other people sat on their own. So anyway, that time I didn't really have many friends, and I thought going on this trip, I would, get a chance to make some friends. It was my second semester of first year of university, and I still hadn't really made any real friends. So I took this as an opportunity. People bond when they travel together. Anyway, the day comes on the road. I have my telephone, I have my tablet, I have my iPod with music downloaded in there, and I have my laptop. So I think one of the couples, I don't really know if they were a couple, but they behaved as if they were a couple. They were in the same class, but apparently the girl Tanzania, and the guy was from Uganda, but they lived in Kenya. So these two people, I don't know if they were a couple, as I said, because the girl also used to say that she had a boyfriend. Like, I knew the girl, like we were talking, but not like friends or acquaintances. Every time I talked to her, she'd be like, "Oh, my boyfriend is coming, my boyfriend this, my boyfriend that." And I knew it wasn't that boy, but I guess the boy fancied her or something. Anyway, this boy and her, they were sitting together, and we started the journey. I think we started the journey in the evening. Yes, in the evening around 7. So we were in school after classes, because classes would end at 5. So we finished our classes, went home, packed up, and met at the school at 7 or 8ish. We got into the bus and started the journey to Nairobi, to Mombasa. It took us the whole night. That was about 10 years ago, I guess. 8 years. 10 years ago, if I'm not wrong. Around 8 to 10 years. That time the journey, there was no the train, and people were taking buses. Crazy times. So anyway, got on the bus, started heading to Mombasa, and since I knew this girl, I didn't know the boy one. We never talked before, but the girl, we would chit-chat, at the canteen or something. Or, whatever. I knew we were not friends, but I can remember that we used to chit-chat. Anyway, so she saw me like having the iPod and the tablet. She came up to my chair. She was like, it was around like 10 p.m. She was like, Sheila, can we like borrow your your computer, your laptop? We are kind of bored. We didn't really bring, stuff like you have your iPod, you have your phone, and you have your phone, you have your iPod, and you have your laptop. I was like, yeah, you can borrow my laptop, but there is not much in there. I have like maybe 2 episodes of 2 series, something like that. I don't have much in there. There's not much music. They were like, hey, we have our what is it called? That thing that you stick. What is it called? You stick into the computer when you have stuff downloaded in it. I forget the name. Sorry, guys. Yeah, so it's like a modem, but it's not a modem. I forget the name. Yeah, we have it, so we're gonna watch our own stuff. We just need the laptop. I was like, okay. Silly me. So I forgot in the tablet there was photos of my family, of my mom, of my extended family. My photos are taken of my grandma, of just everyone in my family, the village I come from, and a lot. Yeah, and also I think the guy that I was dating at that time, there was photos of us. All the photos I used to take I would save them in the tablet for the laptop for some reason. I don't know why. I mean, I was like 18. I wasn't thinking much about anything. So I forgot that even though there wasn't many movies, there was so many photos and videos, I think. I'm not sure, but photos, yes, I remember correctly. So anyway, I gave it to them. I told them the password, and from like 10 until like 2 in the morning, they were just on my laptop, and I guess the bus didn't have charging port when the laptop's power got finished. It went off. They brought it back to me. So I noticed while we were on the trip, even on arrival, that they were whispering about me. A group, when you're waiting for your luggage to be taken into the rooms and stuff, they were with a group of other like 5 people, and they were talking about me. But me being a child then, I didn't really think much into it, remembering that they were 30 years and I was a first year, second semester. wasn't as assertive as I am now. Anyway, I'm sorry guys, this story has stretched on for too long. So anyway, I noticed they're talking about me, but I brush it off. I don't think much into it. In my mind, I'm just thinking, oh, I give them my laptop, so they must be my friends. Now I'm trying to make friends. So, come to find out, long story short, short story long, they went through my emails that I had on there, the conversations I was having with my mom, with my family members about different things I didn't know. Because I guess they had internet. Those times people would bring a modem, those times people didn't really have internet data. Well, there was data if I'm not wrong, but then also you could bring a modem and travel with it with data in there. I don't know if anyone remembers that. Yeah, so you could bring a modem to have internet wherever you are. So they read my emails. Later on, someone told me they went through every single one of my photos. They didn't watch any movies. So for hours, they were just going through my life. The fees, everything I paid, the fees, receipts were on there. Everything, I would put it on there. Every private thing, every private photo I took for my boyfriend, everything was on there, and they went through it. And the worst thing is that they started whispering and telling everybody right there and then before the trip even began. So on day 2 and 3 of the trip, I'm busy trying to make friends. I'm chit-chatting over breakfast and people are not being as friendly to me. They're not even the arguments I would have with my mom about different things that was happening. They read all those, the back and forth, the emails. So anyway, the trip is going as it's going. I have no clue. I wouldn't even have imagined that is what happened. I just thought people are treating me as they are treating me, and I'm like, hey, these people are not my friends. We are just on a trip together, I'm completely clueless. Then we get back to school. The trip was a week long. Then the next week, we get back to school, and I start hearing people whenever I would pass, because I was in a Christian university. Just so you know, I would like to say the name. The Christian university is Daystar University for Kenyans who know that university. Daystar University 10 years ago, 8 to 10 years ago, I'm not so sure guys, because I did leave after the first 1 year and a half. I did transfer to another university. So yeah, they were whispering about me, and I was clueless until 3 weeks later. Somebody in my who was taking the same classes as me came and told me, hey, guess what? This girl and this guy, did you give them your laptop? I was like, yes. Oh my god, they had internet and they read everything. Now they're spreading rumors about you. They saw every single one of your photos, everything. Every single thing you've ever posted on there. They had internet and they went through everything, your whole life. I don't know if anyone understands that back then you would put just everything on your tablet, your laptop. Well, I didn't even ask them, but since that episode, it made my life very difficult to stay in school because rumors spread about me. I'm in a Christian university. Yeah, I even think I had some porn on there. I was 18, and my boyfriend and I think we're in a long distance relationship. He was in Uganda and I was in Kenya. Well, from then on, I learned not to trust a single soul ever again. And also to keep my distance, because even though I was always like that, I really wanted to open up to the whole experience of university, and make friends, because I always hear that in sorry guys, in college is when you make lifelong friends, and that's what I was thinking was gonna happen on this trip. But from the get-go, people are very like standoffish with me, like very um like very, how do I say it, like hi, and they didn't really want to get to know me. It was crazy. Yeah, so, and this was a Christian university, mind you. So yeah, eventually I did transfer from that university because that event, among other things, were happening, and yeah, I just thought it was unworthy to continue to finish my degree there. Yeah, but I learned a very hard lesson. Before I was even told about this incident, I would pass by people and they would say something nasty about me. And I'd be like, where is that coming from? Why is this person saying this about me? They don't even know me. Remember, you're in college and everybody's young, most of the people are young. So you can't even blame people behaving like kids because we are all kids. The majority is under 24, so our brains are not fully developed, really. So I would pass by and someone would be like, SLUT, right? And I'd be like, wow, that person said that about me. They don't even know me. They've never even said a word about me. And also, I noticed that the boys who are branded as bad boys who would smoke weed, they were trying to talk to me and they never spoke to me before. Two boys would come to school like red eyes. They were known as the bad boys of school. They would come to the classes that I was attending. They would really try so much to talk to me, even invite me for after school activities. And I'm like, suddenly, until I was told, hey, guess what? That girl and that boy, they went through your entire life. So I was like, no wonder Mark was trying to talk to me. He had this, and he thought I'm one of his junkie friends. I'm his fellow. Yeah, so crazy. But from then on, I became hello goodbye with every single person I met. Even in the next university I transfer, just hello goodbye. I was like, why don't you want to come with us do this? No. Don't you want to come to this school activity? No. Immediately after school, I just left. And one time the girls in the class were like, Sheila, you don't want to join a study group with us? No. Unless it was forced by the university or the lecturer study group, which it wasn't really enforced. I would be like, hello, goodbye, leave. And sometimes they would force me, come, let's go. You're so cool. You dress so nice. Let's go do this and that. No. So yeah, that kind of shaped how I saw things, how I approached people. I remember one time they were on my kids and they told me, you need to show us where you stay, which hostel you stay. I told them the name of the hostel and they would come visit me. I would hear them coming, like, a group of girls talking, and I would lower the TV, close my door. I would hear them in the stairs, for example, and be quiet until they left and switch off my phone. Until they left, they would come knock on my door and I would refuse to open. Needless to say, I didn't really make a lot of friends in the second university. Sorry guys, in the second university too. Yeah, so I do have trust issues. Life taught me. And it's not only, as I said, that one incident, but yeah, that kinda was the big one. Sorry, I was scratching one place for too long. There's like in the front of the head. Usually there's way too much dry scalp. So there's so many more flakes there. Like in the sides and in the very front. Okay, this way, just a minute. Yeah, that way. one incident completely shaped how I look at people, even though it was just, an honest, naive mistake. I don't trust myself in my grown age to be, perceptive, to make the right decisions, about people, so I avoid them altogether. Yeah, I remember about 2, 3 months ago, a friend of mine that I met through another friend. She's a cool lady, a cool girl. She has a child, same age as my baby, and she invited us for a sleepover. I kept postponing. I didn't really want to go. And my husband was like, go, it's a new friendship, go. You get to know each other more. She's really like a cool person. I can call her a friend, you know. But I was so reluctant to go. I kept postponing for like close to 5 weeks, 5, 6 weeks. I'd be like, not now, not this week, not next week. Eventually, I gave up and decided to go before the summer ended. She invited me the entire summer to her cottage for a sleepover with another lady. But yeah, I take time to trust people. Hi guys. I know it's really I wasn't even gonna tell this story, but the other day I just remembered it. And from time to time I go and look at their Instagrams to see how they are, because I know them, the 2 people that I gave my laptop to. And I'm like, okay, you're still alive and kicking. Not that I wish them anything bad, but that event traumatized me for real. So yeah, I go to check on them, see if they're okay, see if how they're doing. you know I don't wish them anything bad. As I said, we were all kids. Now that I'm grown, I'm able to look at the situation differently, and I'm always of the thought process of people under 25 are not able to make rational decisions about anything. Yes, you're an adult, but you're still a child in one way or the other. Because I know when I was 18, 19, 20, I also didn't make the best decision, so I kind of give people grace on that front. I'm reading your comments. Someone said, Physics diva said, oh my first live, I made it. And then Sana said, now you have us. She said, OMG, evil people. I don't really know if they're evil. I just think they're kids. Actually, as I said, I'm giving them grace because now I have my own kid. And I know kids do crazy things. It's no excuse to do that. But yeah, that's just how I, rationalize it in my head somehow. And she said, well, I hope they at least feel shame. I hope they did. I hope they look back at it, because as I said, that event led to me, among other that's happened, but that was a catalyst, led to me leaving the university. Because even though I didn't do anything bad with someone in this school, it was a strict Christian university. It led to me feeling so uncomfortable, so left out, so exposed and seen, It was like scandalous that I decided to leave. And I was like, I cannot stay here, walking everywhere and feeling eyes looking at you, that's crazy. And the fact that it took me so long, like really like 3 weeks after, to catch on, to understand what was going on. And the moment I learned about it, it was actually at night. And I remember one of the girls that stayed in my hostel, she was in my school, because I was in an outside hostel, not a hostel provided by the school. I was in an outside, a private one. And one of the girls, she knew all along. And because we were not close, we never spoke. was just hi, see you in school, see you at school. And I had been living in that hostel for like 6 months, 7 months close to. And she knew it from the very first week after the holiday, but she didn't say anything to me. And I would have thought at least someone who lived in the same building with me would have told me, because the hostel I lived in wasn't big. It was like one big house divided into hostel rooms, you know. So it had like 18 rooms in there, but it was a big kind of a mansion-like house, separated into rooms, bedrooms. Very nice house. Yeah, and she lived downstairs. It had 3 floors. She lived downstairs. And every day she would meet me in the kitchen. We shared a kitchen. It was a large kitchen we shared. We didn't share bathrooms because our bathrooms were on the 2nd floor and I was on the 3rd floor and Asha was on the 1st floor. Yeah, so I would have thought that she would have told me, you know. And she was also in the 3rd year, the same classes as those guys, the 2 people that leaked all that information. I would have thought at least she would, you know, call me aside being a senior and be like, hey, but no. So the way that I found out that night, I came home. I came to the hostel crying. She met me in the main room. She was watching TV and she's like, what happened? I was like, oh my God, I just found out the craziest information about me. These 2 people, I gave them my laptop and they spread this information about me. She was like, oh yeah, I knew on 2 weeks ago. That was when we came back on Saturday. She knew on Monday. By Monday, they spread that information. Over the weekend when they arrived back to Nairobi, the capital. And by Monday, half the school had known. And as I said, being a Christian university, a scandal travels fast, you know. So, and the fact that I think it also spread fast because I was known as the Ugandan girl because I lived in Uganda. I had done my high school in Uganda. Then I came to Kenya to do my university. So it was the Ugandan girl. Foreigners are always, you know, stand out. Somehow, you know, being a foreigner, you stand out. You are more like people see you more than you're more exposed in some way. I don't know if you guys understand me. So yeah, I came home crying, but I was still crying. And when I told her, she was like, oh, I'm sorry. I found out or so, and you know, I didn't want to say anything. Blah, blah, blah. And there was actually, because I had a long distance relationship with my then boyfriend, there was a boy I fancied. And I think some people knew I liked him because I had mentioned him in the emails to my family and friends back home. His name was, I'll name him now because I really don't care. His name was Moriah. His name is embedded in my head. Yeah, so I think I'd mentioned him or something, or even I had photos of him. I don't know, you know, the way you go to someone's Facebook and you screen capture the picture or take the picture. I don't know, but I know I had photos, all that. Yeah, so the girl told me, yeah, you know, I was speaking to Moriah, and I was like, why are you bringing him up now? And she went on and on and on about how she's friends with him, and I was like, oh my God, they found out about him one way or the other. Either they read the emails about him or they saw the photos I had taken, you know. Well, I don't know, but they found out about that too, that I had the biggest crush on him. Well, you know, my whole life, crazy. Well, you live and you learn. I guess these are the stories we pass on to our kids. Tell them to watch out. Not everybody who smiles at you is your friend. So, yeah, and at that time I didn't know that boy had a girlfriend in the school. And she hated me. That was the second reason why I left. She absolutely hated me. Guys, I'm sorry this story spread. I even had to apologize to her. Can you believe it? Like, this is one of those wild the stories. And I assure you, I'm not making it up. Like, I am not. I wouldn't. Like, there's no reason for me to make it up. When I don't have stories, I usually tell you guys. I don't have anything to tell you guys today. Like, yeah. And her name was Mary, by the way. I'm sorry I'm naming these people here, but yeah, we were kids. I mean, what the heck? Yeah. And what are the chances that they will watch this? So that was crazy. Yeah, so yeah, never again trust anyone. Yeah, never. So I learned my lesson the hard way. So this is one of the things I'm not afraid to admit. I know I stretched that way too long. Yeah, that I have crazy trust issues. And another thing that I'm not afraid to admit is I do not forgive easily for some reason. Even being a Christian, I yeah, I'll read your comments after. So yeah, I have a hard time forgiving people if they wrong me. Not even the people in that story, but just people in general. I do not trust people easily at all. Like, I mean, I do not forgive people easily. It takes me time, even years. Even with my own mom, there was a time she wronged me, and it took me like 4 years to forgive her, even speak to her. Yeah, I remember even when I spoke to her, I had not forgiven her yet. Like, yeah, I struggle with forgiving people, and I know as a Christian I should forgive like Jesus, forgives. Like, even when I talk to my best friend, she's like, oh, my auntie or my uncle so and so did this to me, it hurt me, they really broke my trust, and I forgive them immediately. She's like, I forgive them. I'm talking to them, and I'm like, I would never forgive them. Sometimes she even jokes, she's like, I'm not like you. I will not cut them off and, send them to hell. I just forgive them, and I'm like, you forgave them and you're talking to them again. She's like, yeah, I'm not like you. I'm sorry. I'm too soft. And I'm like, if it was me, I would never say a word to them ever again. So yeah, I don't know if this is more of unforgiveness or more of holding a grudge. Yeah, I think I'm very begrudging. Maybe that's the correct word to use. So, just to read your comments a little bit. Sorry, guys. Asma Wishes says, ugh, I know the feeling of a horribly awkward situation, growing pains. Yes, exactly. And Chichichi says, also, you are doing totally no more eating old stuff. Maybe it's because it was a strict university and it seemed like they were making a mountain out of a molehill, or whatever that saying is. That's the saying, but yes, absolutely yes. When I look back, I'm like, they could have given me some grace. But being that, as I said, I was a foreigner, I was seen as a foreigner, number one. Number two, being that it was a Christian university also, it's just a couple of factors that made it really blow up. Really. This situation like completely blow up. And then Queen Aries said, hello, Asma Kapo, I love your channel. Hi, Queen Aries. Thank you for tuning in. And Jessica said, hello from Melbourne, Australia. I love your stories. Your Asma skill is so amazing. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm so sorry, guys. As I said, I haven't gotten a chance to do my nails yet. I'll probably do them on Monday. Hold on. Do them on Monday when our baby goes to mini kindergarten. do something more Christmassy with my nails this time around. Because usually I just have like the stick-ons and then after the session I kind of remove them. But now I want something that will carry me through the entire season. Even though it's already started. So another, how do I say them, thing that I'm not afraid to admit about myself is since we chose not to have another baby, and guys, I apologize if you hear our stomachs rumbling. With me, I think my stomach is rumbling because I had just green mangoes for dinner. I didn't want to have anything heavy, so I thought mangoes, yes, it's a fruit, but then I eat green mangoes with salt. So I think that's what's upsetting my stomach somehow. Like, I don't have a pain for stomach, like upset, but yeah, it's kind of growling. And for him, I think he's just hungry. These are the things that we edit out in the sessions that I edited, pre-recorded. So, yeah. What was I saying? Another thing is, yeah, as I was talking about basically how since we decided we're not having another baby, I kind of struggle with the idea that what if I should have another baby, or what if it's too late by the time I decide to have another baby? What if it's not the right choice? So I constantly question myself about that, and I'm like, what if these are the years I should, try and have another baby and at least have two? What if I lose the one I have, God forbid, it will never happen, but life happens to everyone, and I worry, what if I'll come to greatly regret it, I don't know, so I kind of struggle with this a lot, and I think about it a couple of times a week. When I'm with my baby and I'm like, what if it should be amazing if she had a sister or a brother and they're playing together? I never know that. Because I kind of struggle with that a lot. Guys, in the front, there's endless whiteheads, endless dry scalp, dandruff, endless everything. Another thing I'm not afraid to admit is I'm still healing from abandonment trauma and other childhood traumas. And as you know, healing is slow and, painful. It's not linear, you have your ups and downs. And yeah, I'm still healing from that, being that my mom left me with my grandma. And she, so to speak, didn't come back. I'm still healing from that, and I'm truly hoping that I will not, someone told me, this is just a side pack. I don't know if someone told me or I read this or I had it in a podcast that eventually all of us, we become our parents. And that always rings in my head, and I think about that statement a lot. Yeah, so as I'm healing from the abandonment, I keep wondering if I will ever be like my mom, I wonder about it a lot. I know I'm an amazing mom. I'm sorry guys, our baby woke up. We'll have to continue this live probably on just pin the conversation I was having, and we'll have to continue on Saturday. Is it? I'm so sorry guys, we don't want it to start screaming here, but we will be continuing. Sorry, and bye for now. I'm so sorry I couldn't get to read out the